started to rain as soon as I started recording this video, and I don't know if that's a sign that I shouldn't record it or if that's a sign that I need to persevere and push through. I'm gonna take it as the second one because that's just what I like more. This is gonna be a little bit of a personal video, you guys, so if you're not interested in that kind of stuff, this isn't probably the video that you wanna watch. I'm gonna be talking about my life a little bit and maybe give a little bit of guidance, I guess, towards your own lives out there. Maybe there's some value you can find from this video. I'm out here in the middle of the woods, just kind of went for a walk. I'm actually standing on like a giant fallen over tree. It's pretty cool, but I finally found a spot where I could put the camera where it's not gonna be falling into the river, so I'm just gonna leave it there. But trust me, the balancing act I'm doing right now is very impressive. I wanna talk to you guys about something that is on my mind, something that some of you guys know about, and maybe some of you don't. Maybe some of you are going through it or have gone through it in the past. Today is what I consider the 5-year anniversary since my father passed away. I lost my dad in 2018. Now, technically, his body was still alive at this point in the ICU, but for all intents and purposes, I consider today to be the day that he was no longer there. His body lasted about 2 more days, but you know, he never woke up. So about 5 years ago, my father had a stroke, a massive one, and you know, we had to take him to the hospital, and he was mildly conscious for a little bit, but drifted further and further away, eventually fell out of consciousness, put into the ICU, to where they just tried to give his body the best care that it could have until the inevitable happened. I don't want to get too personal about his experience or, you know, my family or anything like that, so I'm going to kind of leave that out, but that's just generally what happened. He had a massive stroke and passed away. I guess the interesting thing with that is that he actually had that happen many years prior. When he was about my age now, he had an aneurysm in his brain, which is like a blood vessel that leaks or bleeds, you know, and he almost didn't make it then. And I was like 4 or 5 years old. So I remember parts of it, you know, but I don't remember the specifics because obviously no one was telling me as a 4-year-old what was going on really. But I do remember a lot of it, and I remember it being very scary, and I remember not understanding, and I just, you know, I remember him, you know, not being able to walk and stuff. So, you know, I remember things, but not very detailed. So it was kind of a miracle that he survived that. And so I could have lost my father a lot sooner. I could have lost him when I was just a toddler, but I got to have about 20 more years with him. So, you know, I consider that a blessing within itself, I suppose. And when it comes to my dad, you know, again, I don't want to get like too personal. Like I want to get personal, but I don't want to give the nitty-gritty details because I think that's just that would be more like using my YouTube channel as a therapy session, and I don't really want to do that. Overall, you know, I had a really good experience with my dad. He was a very nice, genuine person. He really taught me a lot of kindness. He introduced me to a lot of things that I enjoy, like movies, games. You know, he loved games. He loved playing all kinds of games. Didn't matter what it was. He was a big sports fan. Tried to get me into sports. You know, it didn't really work out. I don't know if he was disappointed about that. Probably was. Although I did play for a while, and I do consider martial arts a sport, and I did that during my teenage years. So, you know, kind of. But there is definitely, you know, some resentment within there too, right? Like there's some things that I am upset about that I wish, you know, he would have taught me or would have shown me or would have provided to me that he wasn't able to, or that maybe he just didn't know. You know, I think that it's unfair for us to be upset at our parents for not teaching us things that they didn't know themselves. But regardless, there is like that little bit, like I wish I was pushed a little bit harder. You know what I mean? Like I wish there was a little bit more that I wish that like he could have told me about life or about the difficulties of it or what happens if you don't do this or if you do this and all of that kind of stuff. But the biggest thing that I have like the most amount of hurt about is that during the time of his passing, when he did pass away in 2018, I was at probably my lowest point in life that I've probably ever reached. You know, I had fallen completely broke. I had to move back in with my parents. I was like 27, 26, 27, somewhere around there. I didn't have any prospects. Everything that I had tried in life, I had failed at. You know, I tried to become a filmmaker. I tried to become a writer. I tried to do these artistic endeavors. All of it failed. You know, I'd made these big leaps and bounds by trying to like move across the country. That didn't work out. I wound up being completely broke. I was going through some crazy health issues at the time. That's when my nerve pain first started. We were trying to figure that out. So I was going through like intense nerve pain, getting all this hospital debt, you know, already incredibly broke, you know, moving back into their house, you know, working my retail job, didn't have anybody around. You know, I didn't grow up with any brothers or sisters, so I didn't have that, you know, to help guide me or to help me out or anything like that. So I just was in a really bad place. My depression was at its peak. It was horrendous. And I had all these things going on. And the thing that like destroys me the most is that that version of me was the last version that my father knew, you know? And that drives me fucking crazy. Like that just makes me like so enraged. It really, really does. Like my father's last memory of me is not me like working a job that I love, or having a family, or having a child, giving him grandchildren, or being in love, being married, you know, having like a nice house or something like that, like having anything in life. He never got to see any of that, you know? So it just really, really bothers me, man. But here's the thing, and this is kind of like the main point that I want to talk about, is that I've thought about this a lot in the last 5 years, and every, you know, June during this time when it happened, I think about it more. I started thinking a lot more about legacy, right? I started thinking a lot more about like my life and my legacy, and like wanting to give my future kids a version of me that they could really look up to, right? Or to give my dad, if he was still here, a version of me that he could be really proud of. I'm not saying he wasn't, you know, proud of me, but like there was no physical evidence to show him to, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, I'm proud of you because you're my son, but it's like, are you really? Like, am I really doing anything that's worth praise? You know what I mean? I've been thinking a lot about legacy. Almost fell off this tree. Almost. Since then, you know? And I think that my father passing away was like... Hi, Dad. I think my father passing away was an extreme kick in the ass for me. If I'm going to spin it in any particular way, and if I'm going to find any positive out of the situation, I think that I looked at myself and I looked at my life, and I had to take a long, hard, cold look at myself and just understand how much of a fucking loser I was, right? And I'm not saying like that much better now, but comparatively from 2018 to now, I've made a lot of progress. I think I have. And hopefully I'll make a whole lot more, because I'm still not nearly where I want to be in life. But it really, really did kick my ass, because I thought about that. I thought about my father's last vision of me and how I didn't have anything to show for myself, and how there was so much out of life that I wanted. And I just started to really think about that every single day, think about my position in life, think about where I was. And I don't know if this is healthy or not, but like it made me angry, right? But in a motivated kind of way, like a motivational kind of way. Like every day I would be so mad at my current life situation. I would think, I have to change this. Like I have to do better. I have to get better. I have to be more disciplined. I have to figure out my health problems. I have to figure out my financial situation. I have to figure out my life situation. I have to fix this. I have to turn this around. And every single day I would look at my life and I would be like, I would ask myself one question, like, do you accept this or do you not accept this? And every day it would be, I don't accept this. So I would think, what could I possibly do today? What is the most I could get done today to try to change this, to move my life into a more positive direction, instead of falling into a deeper depression, you know? And that's what I've been doing for 5 years. And within that time, I have been able to improve my physical health and deal with the nerve pain a lot better. I have been able to, actually I figured out a lot about my physical health since then, with diet and everything too. I grinded so fucking hard on YouTube to build my channel up to the point where last year I was finally able to quit my full-time job and do YouTube full-time. And I'm not like making a shit ton of money, but I'm at least able to pay my bills every month. So, you know, I'm doing something that I enjoy for a living. So there's that. I did manage to get a house. Again, not the nicest place in the world, but it's mine. So I've made all this progress, right? And I think that I've managed to battle depression pretty well. However, there are always setbacks, right? There is always moments where you regress, always moments that it gets pretty bad again. Maybe some of you guys have noticed, maybe you haven't, but I would say the last like 3 or 4 weeks, my depression's been pretty high, I would say. And I don't know if that's really come off in videos or not, but I feel like some of you guys can tell, right? But today, I don't feel it as much. I just feel this gap in between me now and what I want out of life. And a lot of that is wanting to just be better at the things I do. A lot of it is wanting to, like, I want my own family someday, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be so isolated and introverted and lonely forever. Like, I'd like to change that. And I still haven't given up my dream of being a filmmaker, you know? At some point, I would like to try to make movies again. But that'll be in the future. So, I guess to bring it all around, the point of this video is that if you're going through that, or if you've lost a parent, or you've lost someone close, doesn't even have to be a parent. I think that, as tragic as it may be, there's still something that you can get out of it, and that is understanding that making them proud is important. And you can't do that by just mourning and being sad. You have to go and live your best life, or the best life that you can, or try as hard as you can to achieve the things that you want in life. Because ultimately, the thing that would make them happy is you being happy, right? That's what they want to see. That's what a parent wants to see out of their child. They want to see their child thrive. And that's what I'm going to try to do. That's what I'm going to keep trying to do. It's the thing that kind of keeps me going. There's a few things in life that keep me going. And sometimes I forget, and sometimes I fall back, and sometimes I just, you know, want to drive off a fucking bridge. But sometimes it rains, and I enjoy it. And while everyone else is inside, I just embrace it, you know? So embrace it, embrace the pain, embrace the struggle, and just remember that what they want, what they would love to see from you is for you to be your best self, is for you to thrive and accomplish as much as you can. So as many setbacks that happen, many times as I'm told no, as many times that I feel like I can't do it, I'm at least going to keep trying until it's over, you know? And you guys should too. All right, that's it.